Hello and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast,
Well, that,
where we are always searching for the whole truth while doing some light skull fucking on the
What?
side.
when did we become
What?
X Files? When did
Uh,
we become X Files?
God.
I'm television's Jason Ritter, and today we're discussing the fourth episode of Gen V. And joining me, are you guys ready for this one? You thought that was it. And joining me for this tag team cocksplosion, it's Blue and TMT.
Ancestry a way to describe an introduction. Yeah, we're back again, gang.
How you guys doing? Welcome back.
Oh, we missed
Hello,
you
my
so
love
much.
puppets.
Oh
Hmm.
God, why
You
did I
say
agree to
you say
this?
such nice things to me.
You guys look very
Um,
moisturized. It's nice to be here with you.
you look very professional. For anyone who's watching the video, TMT is like straight from the corporate world. I love it. I've never seen this side of him. I
Very
love it very,
serious,
very much.
very
Yeah,
very loyal dog.
Yeah,
yeah.
basically clean shaven. It's like it's wow. It's like wow, TMT. You live
Eh,
a life outside of podcasting. That's just
And chaos, yeah.
that's insane to me. That's insane to
Yeah.
me. People
Luckily,
actually.
my beard grows back quickly. So, like, by the weekend, I'm ready to, like, get into some shenanigans. You know?
Oh, okay. So it's like okay, that makes sense. A weekly thing. You and the week during the weekdays you're like serious, and then the weekend the beard is out, and you're yeah, and it makes sense. Makes sense. It
Yeah.
tracks. Um, thank you very much for coming back, you guys. Bolu, thank you for
No,
coming back.
my
We're going to
pleasure.
obviously talk about episode 4 of Gen V. Before that, quick admin. TMT, could you please plug last week's Submerge episode that you guys did with Olumide, which I thought was really good. Um,
Oh, thank you, guys. It's episode 160 of Submarriage. It's called "Love Offers No Safety," and we discuss what it's like to grow up as a queer man in Lagos, and we discuss Olumide's book, which is a collection of stories from 25 queer men in Lagos, and it's beautiful. I literally just put it down recently, like maybe
mm.
6 hours ago, and yeah, it's a really good read. You should check it out. Check out the episode. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no, it was a great episode with Olumide. I don't know. I always feel kind of envious that I can never really do podcasts like that because I can never do a podcast where I just talk about my life. So the one caveat or disadvantage of talking about film and TV every episode is that you don't get to have those kind of deep conversations. But yeah, good
Yeah,
episode. Please, if you're new to the podcast, thank you very much for coming on. Please rate and review. It really, really helps us. So just if you're on Spotify, just look for the stars, rate there.
I mean,
Thank you. If you're Apple Podcast, please review. It really, really helps us break through the algorithm. Um,
also
sex
share with your
education.
friends.
Yes, please share with your friends. Take your friends' phones, rate and review, whatever. Sex education. All episodes on the podcast feed. We did 3 episodes on that. Top Boy, we did that. Winning Time, rest in peace. We covered that. The Continental, all episodes are out
RIP
now.
winning time.
RIP Winning Time. Um, yeah, and like there's some cool episodes that we've done. We did a Nolan draft a few months back before Oppenheimer, so you can check all of that out. But let's go into what we're here for. Gen V episode 4, titled The Whole Truth, directed by Steve Boyum and written by Jessica Shu. Who I saw that name and I was like, I know that name, and I went to look at it because she wrote Hero Gasm episode. So yes, she was instant Hall of Famer. Guys, everyone's fucking on this show. So I don't know where do we where do we start? Do you guys want to start with Tek Knight now or leave that to the end?
Hmm.
um, wow, yeah. So we can start with technique, I guess. So
Okay.
again, as someone who reads the boys comic, they actually adapted the the most controversial.
His arc.
Yeah, I was very surprised they went for that.
Wait, is that
When they
from the
just take,
comic?
Yeah,
let me tell
that's from the
you,
comics.
the boys is an edgy, insane comic book.
Wait,
Latinx,
Yeah.
he was fucking holes in the comics.
yes.
Oh
The
my
only difference is that
god.
he's not quite as he was actually one of the few at his core. He was, I think, somewhat more heroic than
Mm-hmm.
the other heroes. In it's just that he got like
Yeah.
afflicted with like insane sexual urges. But in the show, he's a bit
Mm-hmm.
like generally like dark and like a more terrible person. Like even
Mm-hmm.
minus his sex urge, at least
Yeah.
that's the impression we get.
Yeah. Because I mean, I think we heard something like season 1 or something where somebody was like, he saved her, but then also like kind of broke her spine or something like and so, along those lines. Where like even if he saves you, like there's just a big kind of collateral damage.
Yeah.
Well, he's played by Derek Wilson, who I knew from Future Man. Speaking of, we spoke about Future Man last week. And I think he also appeared on Preacher, so obviously he's a big Seth Rogen favorite. But yeah, I don't know. It was just like I just feel like we have to touch on him. Like I didn't realize until I rewatched episode, I didn't realize how many times he says the word "whole." Like he said, like when you rewatch the episode, you're like, oh, he says "whole" so many random times. Like even
Yeah.
when he's talking to Andre and he's like, "How long have you been eating Golden Boy's girlfriend whole?" And I was like, first time I was like, that's a weird way to phrase that statement. Nobody really says that. And
Yeah.
then on rewatch, I was
It's
like,
such a roundabout
yeah,
way.
on a rewatch, I was like, oh, that's why he said it like that. Speaking of Kat
Yeah.
and Andre, apparently, so they said it after, so we have our answer to that question. Um,
Mm.
okay, so I just want to talk about that. I'm actually very surprised that Tek Knight like that. I knew he was in the comics, but I didn't know that particular storyline was from the comics.
See,
That's just
every
ridiculous.
insane edgy thing in the boys, the comic
It's
is
from the comics.
guaranteed to have a version of that,
Mhm.
and it's likely almost even worse in the comics. So
So
Yeah.
speaking of actually, because you mentioned last week, Bolu, about how I think this is I don't know if it's a storyline or it's its own like offshoot comic book, like the whole Gen V thing in in the boys comics. But are these characters new for the show? Like Marie,
they're
Emma, all
they're
of
all-
them.
they're original characters for the most part.
Ah,
But
okay.
there's a Gen V, like there's actually like a school like of
It's
like
based on an arc in the
yes,
boys. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
And some of the characters might
Yeah.
actually be in the comics, but I think they might have been so like thrown away that I didn't really pay attention to them.
Yeah, oh, fair, fair.
Mm.
Um,
Mm. Also,
mhm,
like, sorry, but Gen V's like the boys, they're written by Garth Ennis,
mhm.
who made
Preacher,
Preacher.
yeah.
He made, he's made some of the most insane stuff. And yeah, but just wherever you get, just take it
It
like that. This is a
tracks.
53-year-old man,
Who hates everything
and
but
he's kind of my goat at this
It
point.
tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bolu.
no, continue.
Oh no, I was going to go to talk about Marie and Jordan.
Oh,
Um,
oh,
Mm.
I can just mention this now because obviously we talk about. I wanted to have a recurring bit where we do things that we couldn't believe were allowed on TV. My one and only thing for this episode was going to be Coxplosion. I can't believe. Not only can I believe that that's a thing, but I can't believe we saw it. So I was thinking, I think we've seen. Is it 2 or 3 takes we've seen this episode, this show so far?
it is something a
Um.
show is going to do is have something related to dicks happening.
Yeah, and like, look, there has been no female nudity so far. So I like their what do you call it? Their insistence on that gender parity against what Game of Thrones set for us. So it's like we're just gonna have all dicks and no female nudity. But yeah, I couldn't believe that was like that we saw it literally explode. All yeah, I don't know. If you're listening to this, you watch the episode. I don't need to go over it again in detail. Um,
Yeah. I mean, can I just say that I feel like Gen V is not the show it thinks it is?
okay, go ahead.
Because I feel like Gen V comes across as this very like, oh, it's a teen drama comedy type thing. But it's kind of a star. It's like really, really
Oh, so
good.
you're saying that
And it keeps getting
it's better than
better.
it thinks it is.
I think it
That's
is, yeah.
rare.
Or are you like boxing it
Yeah.
into is like are you like boxing it in because of like it's in that because we don't really like rate teen shows in general. So maybe
I
we're
think he's
boxing it
saying
in.
I think he said that the show is boxing itself in, but it's better than what he wants to box
Yeah.
himself into.
Yeah. Also, I'm sure you guys have noticed this, but like a lot of teen shows have pretty solid season
Mm-hmm.
ones. Like first
Mm-hmm.
seasons, they come out very strong, and then they kind of lose the plot. They kind of almost always lose the plot. I think the only teen show I can think of that was consistent from start to finish was Chilling Adventures of
Sabrina.
Sabrina,
Well,
and even then it wavered a
yeah.
little bit.
That's the single reason I didn't watch Riverdale. Like, because back then I would watch most pilots and most like things that came out. And I
Yeah,
was like, I've watched enough of these shows to know that it's gonna have a good first season and it's just gonna fall off. And I
yeah,
don't want to be invested. Like they always have a
yeah,
very good hook. Like we saw all of them, Vampire Diaries, Pretty Little Liars, all of them. Like it's just like they have a
yeah,
good to great first season. And after you're just like, why am I still invested in this? I was like, that's the reason I never watched
yeah,
Riverdale. Uh,
yeah. Riverdale had a really solid first season
yeah,
as well. So
I
yeah,
don't
you're
doubt
Look,
right on that.
yeah, I don't doubt that. Like, yeah. So that was
Mm.
kind of the reason I was like, I never watched. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. That's interesting. I've never seen somebody tell a show to be better than what it thinks it like that it's better than what it thinks it is. That's actually very
It
that's an
is.
interesting
It
compliment.
is.
But no, you're right. I
And because
think
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
I think going in thinking it's going to be just a teen show is very good actually because your expectations are just immediately like surprised and so that's yeah because like we said last week we didn't know what kind of
yeah.
show it was going to be and I think we've been impressed by how good it's been. Okay, so on Marie and Jordan Lee, I kind of saw I saw the connection grow in the earlier scenes, and I thought, oh, it was just me being a good TV watcher. I was like, oh, look at me, I'm seeing what the writers are putting down, and then in the same episode, they like consummated the relation. I was like, oh, I guess I wasn't as smart as I was. What do you guys think of
Yeah.
this couple, this relationship?
I kind of saw it, but also like I I really didn't want it to happen.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why
yeah. I find Jordan very annoying.
are they your most annoying
Yeah.
character then?
Ah, I think so. I think Jordan is annoying because both they're both like annoying separately.
That's an
Like
incredible attack. It's like neither you are two people, but
she,
both of you are annoying.
because she's like when she's when they're in their female
Hmm.
form, it's like the type A
Yeah,
girl that like kind of pisses everyone off,
yeah.
and when they're in the male form, it's like the himbo, the Asian
Yeah, I don't
jock
think I've seen much. I
himbo
don't think I know
type.
much of the male form's personality, which is interesting because
I
I don't
know
know if
enough.
Jordan themselves like prefer to be in the female. I guess they do prefer to be in the female form.
I think they prefer the
Yeah, because
female
we
form. Yeah,
very very rarely get the male form.
yeah.
Uh,
And we only see the male form when it's like combat or dealing
Yeah,
with like
yeah,
or
yeah,
optics.
exactly.
Yeah,
Optics for yeah, and to be the face of the
yeah.
operation. Yeah,
yeah,
which is
but
it.
it
Mm.
does seem
Yeah,
like it's a bit like they don't dislike. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe hmm, they do like both personas. I think there might be a preference for like the female persona, but I think that might also have to do like familiar resentment. But I think that might be it.
yeah. Because I
Yeah.
don't think it's a coincidence that I'm assuming, well, based on what their dad said last week, that like they are,
They grew up with the male
yes,
form,
before
right?
their powers came in, they were in the male form, and now it seems like they're embracing that female form more. Actually, because there's
Yeah.
some point I want to discuss a point on that in a second. But first of all, Bolu, what are your thoughts on this relationship, them coming together? We should make it clear that Marie is not. She's not excited about this based on how this episode ends. So it's not as if they're both smitten for each other. But Bolu, what do you think of the
Yeah,
relationship?
I the thing is that I do find Jordan kind of annoying, but
That's two for two, Jordan.
then a weird box where I find them like I find you annoying, but I don't hate seeing you on screen. It's
Fair.
a very rare box that they fit into where like okay, this is clearly an annoying character, but
Hmm.
Hmm.
I've had annoying characters that like I detest seeing them on screen. Like when Jordan comes, I'm like, oh, okay, it's cool. I guess it's Jordan. Like
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. I'm
Jordan,
the same. Yeah, I agree with you.
Jordan plays off very well against the other characters. I think that's their strength.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're
Hmm.
kind of
Hmm.
annoying, but for the
Yeah.
most part, except like the slight antagonism with Mary because of like ambition,
Mm.
Jordan kind of gets along with everybody. So
Yeah.
Jordan's energy doesn't like bring down the show. So as annoying as Jordan is,
Mm.
then
Mm.
the writers knew how to walk the fine line of like, oh my god, this character is the worst. I don't think Jordan's the worst. Like Jordan's
Hmm.
annoying, but that's
Hmm.
because Jordan's like the type A person who like wants to get ahead of everyone. So like you
Yeah.
see the ambition and you
Hmm.
kind of get it. So um they've not like annoyed you. So Jordan is not obviously like a bad guy. I mean an antagonist, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's what I want to use. So like Jordan is
Yeah.
still quite likable in their own weird way, or at least they're not.
Yeah.
What's the word? They don't put viewers off. You
Yeah.
know.
And I think
Yeah.
maybe we also kind of understand why they have the chip on the shoulder. Like we
Mm.
get it, we
True.
because I guess because we've seen two scenes in particular. Actually, obviously the scene with their parents, but also we see that scene with with the dean and like the board members saying like, oh, do we want the bigender Asian to be like
the
for
face
rural
of like
America. Yeah, so
yeah.
I guess we understand that like they are not just like picking at straws. Like there's a real thing, reason to be angry. Yes, I guess yeah, that's interesting. I don't. Well, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I don't hate any character. So, but I don't look at Jordan in an annoying way yet. It's funny that both of you think that. So I have a
No,
yeah.
I like them, but like they're still kind of like annoying.
Hmm.
That's kind of why.
They're like the kind of person that you meet in a friend group and you're like, oh, we're going to fight,
Yeah,
aren't
we're
we?
not going to spend one-on-one time
But
together, are we? Like, is yeah,
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 but we do
yeah,
get along together in the group. We
yeah,
all play off well each other. Yeah.
yeah, fair. That's fair.
yeah.
Okay, so I did a bit of galaxy braining, and anyone that's listened to this podcast knows sometimes we do that and we go and we think about things that um I don't know if anyone ever did literature in school where they tell you where your teacher tells you this is what the author meant, but like maybe the author just wrote tree because they wanted to write tree. But I was thinking also about Marie and Jordan. Um and I
Mm,
think there's two times that we see Jordan and Mary have this kind of emotional connection. Jordan in her female form, right? This after the explosion and then in Mary's room. But then they feel the need to kind of like change to their male form before kissing Marie. And I found that
mm,
interesting. I was like, again, I don't want to backseat therapize, but it was interesting to me that like they felt that need to do that, especially because we know that, like we said, the female version is the one they prefer, and all the interactions they've had with Marie have been with the female version. But then you now
mm.
juxtapose that with the end of the episode when they are in their female version with Mary in bed, almost maybe like I don't know, their defenses have been shut down or like they're a lot more comfortable now. I don't know. I just that was a bit of galaxy. I was like, oh, why did they feel the need to? Because it's a conscious decision, right? That they choose to change to the male version before kissing
Yeah,
Marie.
yeah. I mean, going back to Bolu's earlier point, I really like. I don't hate seeing them on
Mm-hmm.
screen. So like, if like a subplot of the entire show is like exploring Jordan's identity, gender or sexual or otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
it would be fun. I'd watch it. It would be a fun little thing to like keep track of. And
Yeah,
like, oh, okay, he's doing this, she's doing this, they're doing this. Okay, like, okay, I see what's happening here. That would be a fun thing to like kind of monitor with the show. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. It is very interesting the
yeah.
choices they're
Choices they
making
make.
when they're dealing with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But any thoughts on that? You don't have to have any thoughts on that.
I think there's probably validity to that uh, because I think again Jordan is still struggling with like approval from people,
Mm-hmm.
and he's probably thinking that okay, Mary might like me more in my male form in general. So
Yeah.
that might actually be it. Like it's the more defensive. Like maybe unconsciously, she just thinks like, oh, Marina would like me more. Like even without like even thinking about it too hard, just jumping straight to that form as a form of like because there's a lot of reasons why they feel defensive
Mm-hmm.
because as we saw like Golden Boy wasn't that much stronger than Jordan. Like they were probably even like probably like roughly equal. It's just that like Golden Boy was like really trying because he was like pissed off and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like I think there was a concept like they were probably always in the ballpark, but they could never get over the hump because they were who they were.
I mean, on that your point, just sorry to cut you off, but like the odds are that they're probably better than Golden Boy. Because like if they were second, like you get what I mean? Like if they were second, despite all the hindrances that they had, so maybe like
Yeah.
really they should have been first. But like this guys
Yeah,
are like we can only
Hmm.
push you down as far as second actually. So like we're just gonna
yeah.
make you
In a
second.
perfect world, yeah.
Maybe they were actually meant to be first. Um, do we think Mary was a virgin?
I have no idea.
Because
Or
I'm
if
just
she's ever been
thinking,
intimate with anyone else, like if she's ever been
well, she
intimate with
went
someone
from
before.
when she got her period to the boarding house. And I guess obviously there are other people there, but I don't know if everybody's just not stable. I guess maybe you can't spend.
I think that the period thing was so traumatic. I wouldn't be surprised if she was a
Yeah,
virgin.
like yeah,
Like she didn't get intimate with other people.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised if that's like
Yeah.
and like I don't know if she would necessarily. it doesn't look like she found love in the boarding house or even like any kind of connection in those 5 years. So like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was if she was.
I have something to show you guys.
Okay, I'm gonna see it.
Yes, it's the name of the person delivering my food.
Oh my god.
Can you see it?
Well, Ryder. Oh, preacher it was.
Okay, that's hilarious.
I thought his name was
That's the
actually Ryder.
craziest name.
Okay.
That's the craziest name. Yeah.
Wait. So how far away is that food?
Let me see. It's in the second roundabout, so it should take about 20 to 30
So if you guys
minutes.
just randomly stop hearing TMT, just know that he's left us to go and eat. Okay. Um.
Collect the
Let's go
food.
to the
Yeah.
end. Let's go to the end of the episode because I honestly in my head I just earmarked Marie and Jordan at the end. I want to talk about maybe the fight if we want to before we go into like actual how the episode ends in Mary's bedroom.
How do you feel about the fights on this show in general?
I really liked the Golden Boy and um Jordan one in episode one.
Really? I don't know. That did
You
nothing
didn't
for me.
maybe
I,
it was
I
because I
think
was the first time I
that's
was seeing their
I,
powers. Maybe that was why
I
for me.
think I think it kind of got stronger as the episodes progressed, though some of the action.
Mm.
Well,
But I think the
has
boys
there
has
been
a
any other
certain.
fight? It's
I
just
think the
those
boys has
two,
a.
right?
I think the boys has a certain style of action going for it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gen V, like,
Yeah, it's like
sorry,
big swings.
big swing, like it kind of works like their action style. That this is definitely the boys' universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's very.
yeah.
when Sam knocks out Andre, I felt that in my seat.
Uh,
when, when I was like, "Oh boy, are you sure you don't want to just go take a
Oh
nap,
yeah.
Andre? Like, are you sure you're ready for that?" Well, okay. What are your own thoughts on the fight, TMT?
Wait, what are Andre's powers?
is
Magneto.
is it just magnetism?
Does he have super strength?
I think it's the general like enhanced strength. Like
Yeah,
he's much stronger and tougher than the top
normal
human. But I
person.
think Jordan, um, what's the brother's name again?
Sam.
Sam and Golden Boy are
Sam.
like I think they're like still
Yeah,
like a level above him in strength.
Thanks.
yeah,
But I think
yeah.
he also has like
Mm-hmm.
telekinesis because remember it was like he was manipulating like glass, so it's not just like regular.
Wait, when did he do glass?
Was it not glass in episode? Was it just glass?
No,
Or was it
no, it was
metal
a
in two?
coin. No, it was because it was a coin now, so it was metal.
Oh, it looked
People,
very
He
different.
turned this into a bird.
yeah, it turned into a bird, but it kind of looked glassy. You're right. You're right. It looked glassy, but I think it
Yeah.
was definitely metal. It was definitely metal.
Oh, it was
I
metal.
think he's
Okay.
only metal right now. I think he's only metal right now.
Oh,
Actually,
fair.
speaking of powers, we saw what we theorized last week. We saw Marie control somebody's blood inside their body.
Yep.
So, like,
Yep.
Marie is only growing. Marie's powers are only growing. Like,
Yeah, Maria shut up the totem pole
yeah, and
of
she said
like
that was her first time
what
she
she
was
could
doing it.
be
So
or what
we
she
know that
could
like
be.
blood bending is coming.
Have you guys, has anyone here seen Mozart in the Jungle?
No, I didn't.
No,
Oh
you
What?
told
man,
me
it's
to
a
watch that
reference
years
for that.
ago. I
What?
remember you actually mentioning that years
Yeah,
back.
What's the comparison? How we explain? Like,
I'm not,
because what's his name? Gail Garcia, is
yeah,
that his name?
yeah, Gil Garcia
When
Bernal.
when he's yeah, so basically he's like this super maestro, and he hires this like third rate oboist. Her name is Haley Rothridge, and no one can understand why he's hired her because they're much better oboists in the city.
Yeah,
And his answer is always, "She plays with the blood. She plays with the blood." Because he's Mexican, so
yeah,
his English
yeah,
is imperfect, but it's pretty good. So he's trying to say she plays with
yeah,
passion,
yeah, yeah.
and I think the translation in like Spanish is she plays with
Blood.
blood, and so he's like she plays with the blood.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was
so
wondering why you got there, but that
it's
makes sense. So, well done. You made
yeah,
that connect.
yeah,
Ish.
yeah.
But yeah, no. So obviously, Marie's powers are growing. She's now controlling people's blood inside their body and exploding dick. So that's interesting. Emma
Come on now.
becomes giant man.
yeah.
Yeah,
In,
I see. I saw that coming.
fair enough. I did it. I
I
did
kind
not
of
see it.
figured
I
that
always see
if
that
she can
coming.
go
Yeah,
small, like
yeah.
for her to hang, I figure like there's going to have to be a way for her to like protect herself.
Skill.
Yeah, yeah. She has to
Yeah,
have some actual fight
yeah.
competency. Yeah, that
Hmm.
makes sense.
I was like, oh,
And
wow,
it's
like
funny. And what makes it better is like she does like this whole entertainment wrestling thing in her tiny form,
Mhm.
which I think is really dope experience for her fighting in a larger form. So
mm.
Fair.
It's also interesting. Like
yeah,
she's literally the one who doesn't know like how tough she is or like how like she's the because of
Special
like
she is.
things that have been done to her. Like again, it shows like
Yeah.
how your family can drag you down and like how society can like box you in.
Mm,
And it's like
mm,
she's like I'm like wow, she's just as like with just a small thing we saw like oh wow, she can go with the best of them as we've seen.
mm-hmm,
And it's just because
mm-hmm,
they saw that her big form is not profitable. She
mm-hmm,
had resigned that the fact that her miniature form made her a bit of like a bit of a joke related to superheroes. And it didn't
mm-hmm,
help that the previous small character we saw in the boys was also a bit of like a gag character. So it's a nice flip on the
mm.
head that oh no, she's like that actually. Like she's also very brave. Granted, she was high, but she's also like very brave and she's like caring.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
mean,
like
look,
she's
I
like
think
the heart of the
Emma's
show.
she's run away with it, right? Like we all just love Emma at this point. Like 4 episodes,
Yeah,
halfway through the
Yeah.
season, like she's just
like
the favorite character. We don't-
I mean, I didn't like what she did with Sam when she lied to him about his brother, but beyond that,
Okay,
she's alright.
I,
I would have
I
lied
got
too.
it.
I would have
Yeah, I
lied
got
too
it.
because
Like
yeah. Sam is like insane, so like
yeah, like
I
and
get her
in
lying.
her
Yeah,
defense, she told him at the first possible opportunity. Like
yeah,
literally the first time she could.
true.
Like she can't tell him the truth when she's trying to because he's not going to escape. He's going to stay there. So I got it. I understood.
Like, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Fair
Speaking of
enough.
Sam, obviously Sam wants to go kill the doctor, and then that's why they all meet up. Dr. Cardosa, that's why they all meet up at the house.
Mm,
We've discussed like the fight. I want to shout out the way Chance Perdomo changes his voice. Where like when he's
mm.
shouting, you can go back and listen to just the way he makes his voice want to sound deeper. It's just funny to me. Um, okay, so let's go to the end, the final scene with Marie and Emma. Bolu, don't answer this question because you've watched episode 5. So I guess
what?
this is just TMT and 9.
Yeah, fair.
Was that just a cool editing trick, or is that meant to reference what happens with the psychic earlier in the episode? Like, are we meant to believe that maybe he is involved somehow?
Uh, I don't know. I don't think he's involved. I feel like the boys, like this universe, they don't try and do too much murder mystery, piecing things together here and there. I don't think they're really about that. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's a dogfight show. A bunch of people are like just gnawing at each other. You're not really sure who's going to win, and I think that's the beauty in this universe. So yeah, I think it was a nice
So we think it's
little
just an editing trick.
one-on-one.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing. Yeah.
nothing.
Okay.
No,
We'll see. I guess
yeah,
we'll find out next week if like.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if
We
whichever
should.
way, if the clear
Also,
intrigues.
happy Independence Day. What?
Oh, cool.
As in, like, okay.
Oh.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I might cut that out. I might cut it out. I don't even like
Oh
okay.
my god.
Like I think we will soon wrap up. But I have a question I want to talk to you guys about. Again, a bit of galaxy braining. Because what's been having a podcast if not so somebody
Let's go. Let's do
somebody
it.
put a comment on our first episode because I like to label the episodes as reactions, not reviews.
Mm,
That's a whole different thing about my own
mm.
like imposter syndrome or whatever. But I might start calling reviews
Yeah, yeah.
and
You lie.
not really like I just like I feel like review gives a sense of we're not going to turn this into a therapy session anyway. Some guy put in the comments,
Yeah, like a critic. Is that what you're saying?
yes, and I don't feel like I or we have earned that anyway. So he put this is he sorry, not he, they put, I don't know who, male or female, but they put in the comments, this is a review, not a reactions episode. And I'm not even sure like if they meant that as a compliment or like as
Yeah.
chastising us. But anyway, back to yeah. So for this review,
No, I think it's a. I don't think it's a
yeah,
compliment
I don't think it's a compliment.
I
because
think
I love reviews. I like my favorite thing in the world is when I watch something and I really like it
I think he
or I
came for
really
I
hate
think he
it.
came for a reaction and he what do you call it?
He didn't want all this kind of galaxy brain.
Yeah,
So maybe I'll start calling
Yeah.
review just so people know what to
yeah,
expect. No, but
yeah,
Tim, I get what you're saying.
exactly.
When you watch something, you love it, and you go listen to it, watch a review.
Yeah, when I hate or love watch something and I just want to be validated, so I gotta look for someone else's reaction
I mean,
to
I'm
it.
not gonna lie to you. That's kind of why we did
Yeah,
this. I started
yeah.
this. It's just because like,
Yeah, I
But
know.
are you laughing because they're particular?
yes, Bully is laughing because they're particular.
Tough scene,
I
brother.
don't understand.
Um,
You're in the UK, like your life is good. Why is this bringing you pleasure?
It's I'm
What kind of sick?
I'm a
What
nice
kind
person.
of
I'm a good
sick?
person.
Well, for those watching on YouTube, I have.
The way you're saying it, I never claimed to be a good person.
He was like, "Look, I like this is who I am." Maybe I might leave like 2 seconds
Oh
of
my
your dark
god.
screen for people on YouTube, just so they don't think we're crazy for what we're laughing at. No,
Fair
that's kind
enough.
of the reason why I started this, because I was like, I would watch something and enjoy it, and before we had people I used to talk to mainly a year, but then as people go by distance, and you go to watch or listen to reactions or reviews, and I was like, it became a bit too stodgy. Like it became like they were just
Mm,
being quite impartial, which is obviously good for someone like me because I want to
mm,
learn critically. But at the same time, like I also want fans to talk about why they like something or why they hate something. So that's kind of
yeah.
long story, but that's kind of how we started doing this. Anyway, my point. Oh yes, Galaxy Braining. So obviously I know TMT doesn't think any of these characters are good, quote unquote. So I'll try not to call
Mm,
them good. But I think we can agree that they are trying to do good things, or at least even if that's what they think, right? Especially someone like Andre, he thinks he's a hero and should do hero things. And I'm wondering if that's
mm.
connected to the fact that like these are the first guys that like know they were injected with V. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Every other set
Yeah.
of heroes or whatever, they like we're gods, we're special.
Yeah.
Like it came to us,
Yeah.
and I guess these are the first guys that like we know our parents injected us with V. Most of them for money, and I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
that gives them a sense of like, okay, maybe if I have this gift, not in the gifts, not in the previous sense, but gifts are like I have this thing, maybe I should actually use it for good. And I'm sure, obviously, we know
Yeah.
there are many of them that use it for terrible things. We've seen the one that rapes people this episode alone. So, but I
Oh
don't know. I don't know
God.
if these characters that we're following, I don't know if that is connected to the fact that like they know they were given this V by their parents and now they want to try and do something with it. Like I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense or I just like there has to be a reason because these are the
No,
first guys to
I
know.
think it's a metaphor
For
for actual Gen Zs knowing and being aware much earlier than we were
huh,
of the fact that like the world doesn't really work in the way we think it does. Like capitalism is destroying everything, and there aren't enough high-paying jobs, and there isn't enough to go around. Like we knew in university, but I feel like these guys are thinking about it in high school,
yeah,
maybe like college, like just like they know. So I think it's like that knowledge, that forbidden knowledge, and what happens when like this generation, this really young generation, have access to that information, and how does it fuck with their psyches, and it's a really dope premise.
that's yeah. I mean, I didn't think of that metaphor. That's
The
thank you
producers
for.
are writing that down.
like they're like we didn't know we meant that, but let's write it
Yeah,
down
no, yeah.
and put it in future episodes. No, I think these guys are smart. I'm like, yeah.
No, they are. I will
Yeah,
give them that.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess okay. So I guess TMT, thanks for making my galaxy brain thoughts make some more sense. Um,
I got you, bro.
but yeah, I mean, we are at the halfway point. This is literally the mid-season episode. It's kind of like table setting, and we'll see what happens in the
Hmm.
next few. We have screeners for the next two up to six. So obviously
Yeah.
those episodes will arrive on time. I don't know about 7 and 8. 7 and 8 might be a bit late if we don't get screeners for those episodes. Yeah, I heard it. Bolu, any thoughts before we wrap up? Anything you want
Um,
to touch on?
so far, I'm really enjoying the show. And it's better than I expected it to be
Mm-hmm.
overall. Um, I would say it's the case where like the MC is not my favorite character, but like so far I'm enjoying it.
Who's your
Yeah,
favorite character?
I think I keep forgetting his name though. That's the funny thing. Golden Boy's brother.
Or Sam?
Yeah.
I think Sam is like
Yeah.
the most compelling character running for me, and I kind of like that. While he does feel like a bit of a, I like his character so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
I
like his
mean,
character.
I don't think that is like I don't think it's coincidental that he's paired with Emma. I
Yeah.
think that helps us like the character more. Um, what was I going? Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I said, halfway point, things are kind of table setting. We've kind of it's literally just the second week because obviously the first three came out in the first week.
Yeah.
Anything?
Let them cook.
Literally let them cook. Anything apart from Coxplosion that you guys are surprised was allowed on TV?
Well, I mean, it's not really TV, is it,
Yeah,
darling?
but
Yeah. And I think Jeff Bezos is quite okay with anything that lends him prestige and money, anything that gets him tickets to the Golden
that
Globe.
Yeah.
you're 100% correct. That's his
So,
mo. Um,
yeah, I think he loves this show.
I wonder how involved because apart from like Rings of Power, I wonder how involved he still is in like Amazon program because he's not involved in Amazon itself anymore, is he? He needs to step down or
Man,
some shit.
Yeah,
he's just rich
he's
and enjoying his life. He has the
Mm,
gazillion dollars.
must be nice. Okay.
I think,
Jesus Christ. I think I need to bleep that.
can we say that on a show like this after I've been giving
Probably
screeners on
not.
No,
Amazon?
I don't think
Pro-
so. I don't think we can. I'm probably gonna have to bleep that even on the video. I'm probably gonna have to bleep that.
Fair enough.
That's a lot. That's even for me.
Fair enough.
That's a lot. Okay. Does anyone have anything on to say? Theories, expectations next few weeks. If not, we'll wrap it up.
Um, I'm no worry. I wonder if this is just like a random segue. Whether if they're ever going to pursue that peaked in uni superhero. If
Fair.
a hero like that is ever going to show up, like a person that was meant to be like the guy, but like he never really gets it together.
Lamplighter.
No,
But
Lamplighter
Liverpool,
did actually like
yeah.
like Lamplighter actually did join the seven. He then fell off.
Honestly, I
True,
think the
true,
game
true.
is so rigged for superheroes that like that version of that person is probably the deep. Because I think
Mm,
if you excel in uni in college, you just have to get something. You have to have even if it's just a
Okay,
city.
fair. Okay.
Like unless the version of that would be someone that peaked in high school, which I don't think is really possible in the show. But like if you peak
I
in
think
uni,
I think I think that you know that vigilante or hero
the one that
that was
yeah,
harassing
the one that
the fast
A Train
guy.
killed.
The first, yeah, yeah, that guy. I think that guy peaked in high school and only high school.
Yes, I don't like how did he even get that city? Like yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
I don't know,
I
man.
think if you
Yeah.
peak in uni, you just get too big a job, and then like you can
Mm,
be the deep and be the shit and still just be in the seven.
hmm.
Um,
Or you can be Homelander and excel at the job, but lose anything that makes you like a person
yeah,
with a
I mean,
soul.
so Homelander is like what? Homelander went straight from high school, or he didn't go to? Wait, how did Homelander? How did he get
Yeah.
drafted? He didn't go to high school.
He didn't get drafted. He was
Homelander was grown in
He
thrown
was
his
in the
lab.
grown.
lab.
Yeah, that's true. Soldier Boy. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. So it's funny because on the Amazon Prime page, the Prime Video page, they say, "Oh, A Train. I think he finished first or second, whatever, in his class. Joined the thing. They were like Queen Maeve finished first or second or whatever, got drafted, and then like the Deep also went to Godolkin University,
The
and he
deep.
went to some
I think
classes.
I think the deep's power. I think his power set is just so solid that he can get through either way. But I don't think he cares about,
No,
or he
no.
just hasn't. He had any interest in
But he's a broken man.
applying
I mean, he's a
himself.
broken man.
Yeah,
Um,
he's a broken
and
man.
there are
Truly.
other schools for It's not just Godolkin. There are other schools.
The
Godolkin is
probably
just like
other ones, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just the
The premier
prime. It's
one,
just
number
the
one.
premier one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're all enjoying the show. I think we've all said that it's better than we thought it was going to be. And we'll be back. I think we'll be back next week. We'll be back the week after that, and hopefully we'll be back for the final two. Um, and then Prime Video is keeping us fed between now and the end of the year because maybe this ends.
Man.
Invincible comes back for 4 episodes, I think. So
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
It's a
the Invisible
crazy
special
run.
was really good.
yeah, that was
Random
cool.
segue. That like
No,
The Atom Eve
yeah,
one.
the Atom Eve
yeah.
one.
Oh, I loved
But
it.
just
I
like
loved it.
I don't know, it's one of those things like Invincible. Are they going to bring us a bad episode? Probably not. I'm just like okay, like I don't critique it. I just watch it. Like I'm not saying
Mm.
good or bad because it's just going to be good. Like yeah, it's a good
The
one-off
source
episode. Like
material is the source material is like unlike the boys. I would say like that. The source material is much stronger, and
oh,
there
okay,
seems to be like all the issues from back then, and like maybe some of the things that didn't age very well. They've kind of
they're
like
fixing it now.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's overall, I think it would be very hard for
to not be
Invincible
good.
to yeah. But
Hmm.
like back to the boys. Gen V is a very good spin-off. I'd recommend it to people who like the boys in
Mm-hmm.
general. Like if you like the boys, check out Gen V. Solid cast, likable group of people, and just as much shock factor as
And
well.
go, And God save the Queen. My food is here. 1 second.
Oh my god. Okay. Thank you guys very much. TMT's food is here, so he's going to. We managed to. I thought it was going to be worse than that. I thought it was going to come like halfway through the recording, so we managed to do it well in time. Bolu, TMT, thank you guys for
Oh, well
coming back,
done.
and obviously we'll see you again.
Thank you for having us, man.
Always.
We love doing
Guys,
the show.
enjoying the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it's a great show that we're covering.
Because I'm like,
yeah.
I might have dropped out if it's stunk, but it's good.
Jesus Christ. Well, thank you for being honest. But yeah, guys, thank you very much. And thank you for listening. Please rate and review. If you did it at the beginning of the episode, please do it now. Spotify, the stars are right there. Apple Podcasts, just leave a review. TMT will tell you those things really help us kind of like break through the algorithm. Yeah, check out
They go a
TMT's
long way.
Submarriage episode last week's and even this week's one with Carlos is out as well. Please check those others episodes. Check out Bolu on Twitter at Bolu_AY. I don't think he has any podcast.
No, I guess well, yeah, sure.
Well, you don't want your Twitter
No, he
out
has
there.
a beard. He has a beard. He has a beautiful beard and a banging body. But tell them about yourself now. Come on.
This
This
guy
became
actually
Hinge.
stumped
This just
me.
became Hinge from nowhere. I just like,
I
oh,
don't think you guys has me stumped. I was not ready for that. But thank you, TMT. That was very
He's
nice of you.
physically, he's a tank. He's physically like he's built like a fucking like weightlifter.
I'm not a fan of
This nigga-
you. What's the word? Just taking over the ends of these episodes and making them Summaroach
Sorry,
part two.
sorry.
I don't like
Sorry.
how you've done this two episodes in a row.
It's very easy. You're very accommodating. That's the problem.
Yeah, because I don't want to like. I as a host, I want to let you run. I don't like to stop the guest,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, oh shit, I should have stopped him. I should have stopped him when I had the chance.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
thank you very
No, I
much.
feel
Thank you guys
you.
for coming. And we'll be back next week talking
No,
about Gen V episode 5,
5 and
and
6.
we'll be joined by Oscar winner Daniel Kaluuya. Bye, guys.
Gen VV, right? Because 5 is V.
yes,
Roman
yes,
numerals.
yes. That's fine.
Bye, guys.
Bye.